Hi Aquarius, I hope that you're all doing well. What I'm seeing in the pre-shuffle is that it looks like there is a door that's opening. I'm seeing this be connected with the Empress, and so this can definitely be something that is Venus related. That means like generally this would be something that you would enjoy doing. I was also seeing the Six of Pentacles as well, so it can be something that feels like maybe an exchange of some sort, maybe a relationship of some sort. Maybe it's important to know that in light of what's going on. I'm seeing Four of Pentacles, I'm seeing Five of Cups, I'm seeing Seven of Swords. Okay, the feeling that I'm getting with this, but then I'm seeing Hanged Man. The feeling that I'm getting with this, with Four of Pentacles, it can feel like maybe something isn't really moving, and then Five of Cups can be like, I wanted something to be happening here. Like, Four of Pentacles, I kind of get this feeling of like something just staying kind of like frozen in time there. And then Five of Cups can be like, I thought something was going to be happening here. And then Seven of Swords feels like kind of drowning within that. But then we have the Hanged Man here, so like not all may be as it seems. This can even be like possibly something that you wanted to change. Let me clarify the Four of Pentacles. Because it can be something that's just like staying still, but maybe in a way that you don't want it to, having that Five of Cups there. Like you can want something to happen. And it's like, oh, it just stayed exactly the same. Something like this. But then having that Seven of Swords there, I don't know if this is maybe like premature for this situation. Okay, I'm seeing the Two of Cups. Clarifying that Four of Pentacles. And I'm seeing Queen of Cups is connected with a person for you. Yeah, I'm seeing the Lovers on the bottom of the deck. Okay, Four of Pentacles can also be a feeling of something being held back or something being held on to. Maybe there's a feeling about that too. I feel like you may be judging this too soon. Because I'm seeing like all of these big, like even seemingly dramatic things, like maybe you're making some type of assumption here. And then you're like, well, inevitably, this is going to be the thing that ends up happening. But I keep seeing Hanged Man is here. Hanged Man is also out with the other deck. I'm using this one to clarify. But seeing that, I do get the sense that things may not really be as they appear to be right now. So if you're looking at something and being like, man, I don't necessarily get that being the thing here. Because I'm seeing some type of shift that's actually occurring right now, but from your point of view, you may not be realizing this, you may not be seeing this. But maybe as far as like what you can observe and be going off of, maybe that's where you're not really, that's what you're basing this off of. Maybe it feels hard to move forward at this point. I'm seeing something about the Queen of Cups is going through a change right now. And so what this can mean is that maybe something that's going on with a relationship between you and another person is going through a change where things look very different. This also means too that something about your relationship with yourself on an emotional and intuitive level is changing right now. But there can be a part of you that's maybe feeling a way about this, but I feel like it's because of thinking that things aren't going to be good moving forward, and I'm not actually seeing that be the case here. Like, you can be concerned with the implications of what this is, but I'm not seeing this be I feel like you're just assuming something isn't going to be good, but I'm not really seeing that be the case. Okay. So there's like some type of challenge that's happening with you and another person, but I also see this as being a challenge that's associated with you, with yourself. And you may be catastrophizing possibly a bit here, given what's going on. Because maybe something isn't going exactly like you planned for it to be going in your head, but I feel like there's something about you having to trust the process here, and that may be something that maybe you're not totally on board with. Maybe. Maybe you also have some other stuff that you can be focusing on right now that's going to take your mind off of this a little bit, like important stuff for you to be focusing on. Because I do feel, again, like not everything is as it seems within this situation, but you may not be witnessing anything yet where you're aware of this. You have a lot going on. You have a lot on your plate. And it feels like it's important for you to be tending to those things. Maybe you even feel kind of overwhelmed with it. It feels like maybe difficult to maintain the upkeep of this stuff that you have going on right now. And there are things that are in the process of being worked out. But I feel a lot of tension that's coming through. If something is not moving and something is not changing, maybe this is the point where you're like, okay, well, it's there, but maybe it's like not doing what I need it to be doing. You know, like maybe it's just something where it's the same old thing over and over again. And maybe that's something where you're like maybe that actually is the point here. Maybe that is the point here within the reading. Maybe with Four of Pentacles, it's like no matter what I do to it, this stays exactly the same. I didn't want that to be happening. This can also be something where when we have Four of Pentacles, generally it's something that we have invested in to a point. But you can, again, like, I feel like something is changing with you on an emotional level, because I was seeing, to clarify the Four of Pentacles, I was seeing Two of Cups and I was seeing Queen of Cups, and then I was seeing the Death card. And so I feel like something really important is going on within your internal life right now, where you can be going through a period of evolving within your relationship with yourself. And because of that, it's going to shed light on the relationships that you have, maybe things that you have going on. Four of Pentacles can be a situation that you have that maybe you wanted something to change within it, but then Five of Cups feels like here it is and it's just staying the same, but then and being like, I don't want to accept that this is how things have been, but maybe you've seen enough at this point that that's actually how things are. Maybe you've even given this enough time and that's actually how things are. Maybe you do have enough to go off of at this point. Keep in mind too, like when we're going through the reading and I'm saying what's going on with the energy, like we're following a timeline here through this. So at first, maybe you're looking at this and being like, maybe it's not soon enough to be making a judgment call. Maybe now you've gotten through to this part in the timeline when you're looking at it and you're like, nothing's happening here. It's just staying exactly the same. Five of Cups is going to be that, like, I'm not over this and I'm having a hard time accepting it, that it's just like this. And then Seven of Swords feels like because I'm not moving into a place of accepting this, it's keeping me in this place. And Hanged Man can be like, you actually need to let go of this. Maybe this is something, now I don't want to say giving up, but it can be that something is finished for you. But because you may not want it to be like that, because you may want the outcome to be different, but the outcome is not really different, it can be something that's keeping you within that. But I kind of get this like vacancy here. Like you can want some type of action. It feels like wanting to go into something where it's like really thriving and things are moving around and it's like the colors and the lights and just something that feels very like draws your attention in. But that Four of Pentacles is looking very vacant. It's like wanting to go to this city where there's like a lot of action there, and then you go there and nobody's there. And I feel like that's like a metaphor for this situation that you're in. I'm here with this person, so for some of you, there's somebody that's connected with it. So yeah, it can be like no matter what I do, like things come back to this place of the Four of Pentacles, and it's not a Four of Pentacles that I feel happy with. Like it's not a place. Everything keeps coming back to this place. Like no matter what's going on, it keeps coming back to being like this. Like something is fixed, okay? Fixed meaning, not fixed meaning corrected. I mean fixed meaning like it just stays like that. So you can be like, maybe it fluctuates a little bit, it does this, it does that, but then it comes back to this place and like it's not moving from there. So Five of Cups can be, I'm having a hard time accepting this because I don't want that to be, and then having that Seven of Swords there is like, this keeps you from letting go of it because you're not accepting it. If you were to look at this Four of Pentacles and you were to accept it for what it is, you'd be out of there. You wouldn't be doing this anymore. But this part of you that's like not accepting it for what it is, it's like this part of you that's like being shown what's going on here but doesn't want to accept that, is keeping you in this place of inaction, when really with the Hanged Man, this is something that needs to be released here. And it's about what your priorities are, and it feels like you've been prioritizing something that's been adding too much to your plate. You're not getting enough from it, and this is a conflict associated with an active thing that you have going on here. So I'm seeing that kind of define the movement here. Having Eight of Cups is like, right now in this moment, if you look at it, because it feels like enough time has passed, is this something that you want to keep around or not? And it's like, you don't want to keep this around. We have the Five of Cups next to it. You're not happy with it. But you also may not be accepting what you're seeing it to be. And so this can be something, as I said before, that keeps you in that place. It's like holding on, because we have Neptune here. So it's like this feeling of holding on to, well, maybe it'll change tomorrow. And it's like, well, it doesn't really change. And you've been telling yourself that for how long now? And refusing. With the Hanged Man there, with Neptune there, it's about like needing to snap into reality, needing to come back to reality to see what's going on here, so we can actually like get on with our lives, and so we can make moves where we actually get to experience our ideals and the things that we want. This experience, this is not an ideal for you. And you know that to be true, but you can be having a hard time accepting it. As I said before, keeping you in this place of not accepting this keeps you from moving forward. And when we're stuck in the Five of Cups, it keeps us from the Six of Cups. The Six of Cups is like when things feel great, and when we feel that emotional reciprocity, and when we feel that relationship and like things are really thriving there and it feels very sustainable. This is not sustainable. And you can feel like you're dwindling on an emotional level because of it. Like having that Two of Cups and having that Queen of Cups and having Death card can mean like the end of a relationship. It can mean the end of something, but it's only because your relationship with yourself is evolving through this. Like you're maturing and you're growing through this and you're understanding yourself better. That Two of Cups and that Queen of Cups, it starts with your relationship with yourself. So you can be getting into actually this really truthful, honest place with yourself. And you can be really evolving now on an emotional level. And so you can look at this and be like, no, this isn't what I want. This isn't worth it to me. Because it feels like if you're going to keep this on your plate, it feels like something that makes everything so heavy to the point where it becomes dysfunctional. And for some of you, it's even conflicting with other things that you have going on. For some of you, this is conflicting with things that you really do want to be tending to, and it's taking attention away from that. So it feels like the only solution is the Eight of Cups, and this is like, you need to step away from this. That's what the cards say anyway. You get to do whatever it is that you want here. Maybe you don't want to, but Eight of Cups is about recognizing, I'm not going to get what I want. I'm not going to get what I need here. And it's not just about on a superficial level what you want. Eight of Cups is, in order for you to feel, it's possible for you to feel satisfaction. This is keeping this around and stagnating here is keeping you from feeling that sense of satisfaction. And it's all I mean, maybe it's coming to a place where it feels like you're becoming aware that this is a choice that's being made. But with Five of Cups and with Seven of Swords, we're not always aware. You can be like, I'm just holding on and I have faith here, but it's like a little bit delusional here with the Hanged Man in this situation that like something's going to be changing and something's going to be happening. And you need to see through that, because the Hanged Man, the only way that Hanged Man like brings us some type of illusion or something that's not true is because we don't want to face the music here. Because it's not Neptune coming through and tricking you if you're being honest with yourself. The only time like Neptune can really do us in is when we don't want to be present to the facts. And so if you're seeing what's going on here and not wanting to acknowledge that fully, Neptune is going to come through and be like, yeah, maybe it'll be how you want one day. And it's like, it's not really the truth here. I do feel like you've seen enough to be able to make a judgment call on this now at this point. But there can be this part of you that you're having a really hard time accepting this because of how deeply disappointed you are. But you can be telling yourself, like, maybe not fully present to that. And that's what can keep you in the space of like, no, I'm just going to like stay a little bit longer. That's what we have here. But at this point, it feels like your guides are coming through and bringing this to light, because this feels like it is taxing the other things that you have going on. It feels like it's stressing your priorities right now. It feels like it's making things much more difficult to tend to what's important to you than it needs to be. Like, things don't have to be like this. And when you're doing that dance of the Two of Pentacles, where you're showing up for the stuff that is important to you and the stuff that's in alignment, you don't feel that Ten of Wands. It doesn't feel like that. That Ten of Wands is like, look at this person. Day in and day out, overworking, but it's not meant to be feeling like that. It's not meant to weigh you down like that. It's meant to be a more fluid process. And so basically, I really do feel like this is something here where you're looking through what's important to you, what's valuable to you as it relates to what you currently have going on. And there is something here that needs to be done. There's something here that needs to be worked out, because not everything is in its right order. Having that Eight of Cups can indicate that you may choose to exit. I wonder too if some of you already have done that, but you can have something going on here that feels like it's pulling you back, but it's not because the situation is going to change. It can be because you don't want to accept it, because you're having a hard time accepting it, which isn't something that we do on purpose. It can be, I want to avoid having to come to terms with this because I'm so upset by that I'm like, maybe I shouldn't walk away. The Six of Cups is in front of you. You can have that Six of Cups. I feel like you're keeping yourself away from stuff that you really would connect with and stuff that you really would enjoy by obsessing over something that's not working. In a way, I kind of feel like the Four of Pentacles is indicating a situation where it's just that's how it's gonna be, that's how it's gonna stay. Now, that doesn't mean that some days aren't better, some days aren't worse, or like some days aren't more preferable, or like you never have any good times within that. That doesn't mean that. It means for the most part, things pretty consistently come back to this place. But you can recognize that what you're holding on to is the past and not the present. And that can be something as well that keeps you in this spot. Like, when you think about what's keeping you around here within this, it's not what's going on presently. So it has you kind of living in the past here. And it feels like it's sabotaging you making those next steps forward. It's keeping you there. Yeah, it's keeping you from stepping away from something that you're actually meant to be stepping away from. And the reason why you're meant to be stepping away from it, like, this is how the system works, okay? We feel drawn into situations. If we answer the call, we arrive, we show up in those situations that we like. It remains sustainable and we remain within it for as long as we're meant to be being there, okay? Then, in certain situations, when our time is up within it, and it's not all situations that are like this, some situations we're in for the rest of our lives because it's in alignment for us to be. Other situations we move into and that's not the case. It has like a time limit on it, okay? This is about something that has a time limit on it. You have reached the time limit. How you know that you reached the time limit, you don't have somebody coming through and tapping you on the shoulder and being like, okay, like move to the next classroom now. What happens is that you don't feel happy with it anymore. You don't feel satisfied with it anymore. It doesn't like give you that warm feeling when you're thinking about it anymore. It's more so just like showing up, trying to like milk something from the situation where it's kind of barren there and you're not really getting anything from it, and then it feels frustrating, and then you feel sad, and then you're like, why is it like this? And then you get like lost in the past about it. And all of this keeps you in this space, very Neptunian. It keeps you in this space where you're not taking any steps forward. So it's kind of like this Venus flytrap here where you get stuck within it, but you're not happy and you're not satisfied. And I'm not talking about a situation where it's like you're having a bad day, or it's like something happened and it like takes a little bit to move through the situation, but then things return to being like fulfilling again. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about something where like pretty consistently, this is the way that you're feeling. It's saying that the time is up. That's where the message from your intuition and your feelings comes through and is saying, hey, I'm saying something to you. And when we can understand how precious our energy and our time is, it can really shift our perspective here. I don't know why this is feeling such a drastic example, but it reminds me of like when people are diagnosed with a terminal illness and they're like, I gotta change my life around, like I gotta live for me, I gotta do the things I've always wanted to do. And it's like then they change. Like, you don't need to get to that point to change something here, but you're in a situation that is kind of like that for you, where you're meant to be graduating from this, but you can have all of the reasons why you're telling yourself that's not the case, but that's the Hanged Man there. This is like spiritual clarity that you're moving towards that can be very complicated to move in the direction of. But this can be keeping you away from living the rest of your life, and you have your whole life ahead of you. You have the rest of your life that's ahead of you. There are so many more experiences to be having. And now we have the Sun connected with the Hanged Man. So I feel like at this point, it's like, do we understand, is the haziness and the fog of Neptune now being cleared up by our awareness? Like, we can see the Hanged Man as being this spiritual, energetic fog that we're moving through, and the Sun is going to be the thing that comes through and clears that out so we can see clearly what's actually important to us. And so we can look ahead and feel excited. I feel too like this is something that can very much be draining your life force and using it on something that it's not worth it to be using it on. It's time to let go. Maybe also too, this is gonna thrust you into a period where you are figuring out what's important to you. Maybe you have a lot of different things that could potentially be important to you, and you're gonna be on a little bit of an adventure, to figure that out with Two of Pentacles and Seven of Cups. Maybe this is going to give you the space to be doing that. Maybe you'll figure out what you like now, what you want now, what's important to you now, what you want to be doing now, what you want to be using your energy for now. what you'd like to invest in now. Maybe too, you know that the implications of this have you facing something kind of stressful that you didn't necessarily want to face, because I do feel like steps need to be taken and things need to be done, and it's time to start getting organized to plan this out and to make those moves. But I feel like you getting stuck in your head can be the thing that holds you back here, so you have to work with that part of yourself. Maybe you're also looking at this and being like, but if I do that, it's just going to be too much. But I feel like that's not really the case. I feel like that's a story that you're telling yourself here, and that it's something that keeps you stuck. So you can also be recognizing that too. Some of you, maybe you feel like you don't have the support that you want. That can be something else. As I said before, that can be a story that you're telling yourself, because how do you know what's going to come through for you and what's not going to come through for you? Like, you really may not have to go through this process solo. Okay, so I'm seeing in a deeper way what's going on here. It looks to me like there was potential for there to be alignment with your... There was potential for there to be compatibility. Maybe even for some time there was compatibility there where things did really feel like they were working, but you've gotten to a place where that's not the case anymore. This feels like it is not an energetic match anymore. It is not compatible. It is not compatible anymore. But you can feel very attached to the idea of what this is, or the idea of what this could be. I get the sense too, like, your intuition is coming through and it's very strong and it's very clear about this, but you may not feel clear about this because you may not be fully open to what your intuition is saying. So you can maybe also be being present to that and seeing where you're kind of closed off to the innate wisdom that you have. That's wanting to... It's there to guide you through this situation where you may not be very open-minded to that, where your heart can be a bit closed here. All of this to say, this is helping you get to a place where you are investing in the things that are compatible with you right now at this time in your life. So it's things that not only do you give to, but they give back to you. It's things that this is moving you in the direction of what you have that dynamic chemistry with, rather than something that's feeling kind of, just get like a battery that won't start. And it's like, as many times as you try to jump the battery, it's like it may last for a little bit, but then I feel like it keeps dying, and it's just that over and over again, like trying to bring this back to life over and over and over again. And it doesn't want to be like, just let it die. We need to like move to something new now. It's time to be doing that. But that part of you that can maybe like resist going through transitions like this, because I'm seeing at the end of the day, this is something that hits you on an emotional level more deeply than anything. It hits you on a level of feeling, like it hits you where your vulnerable internal experience is. And I feel like that is the most vulnerable, sensitive part of ourselves. And at the same time, that part of you is ready to evolve now. It is ready for more. So this is that part of you that's the Queen of Cups saying, like, I want to be in a situation that feeds me, that nourishes my soul, that nourishes me emotionally and mentally, where I feel like I get to show up in the way that I want to and receive love in the way that I want to, and feel a sense of connection and intimacy in the way that I want to, and be really in tune and in flow, where I get to swim in the ocean of that, rather than feeling like I'm walking around here begging for water. Because maybe too, you see this at the end of the day, like maybe more so you'll see it once you come out of this, like as you kind of neglecting yourself, as you maybe making moves because you were feeling scared and not feeling really open to things. And this really is the time where you open yourself to the possibilities that it can be so much more than this. Something that can help you check in about this is asking yourself, are you holding on to this for what it is today, presently, or are you holding on to this living in the past, living for a reality that is not a reality? It's a fantasy. It is a fantasy when you reflect upon it. And you are going to be like living better for this. This is you moving to a place where like you're working out what works for you with where you are now, like what you are ready for, what you're capable of, like entertaining even at this point. And it's different now. Something has shifted for you, something has changed. And so you're graduating. And what this means is that you are moving into alignment. This is getting rid of the things that are no longer in alignment with your values anymore, and moving you into a place where you feel like things are aligned again. And you will feel happy for it. And so in this accepting of what this is, it opens opportunities back up for you again to be in situations that feel compatible, that feel sustainable, and that you have that chemistry there with. All right, my friends, we are going to leave the reading here. I would like to thank everyone for connecting. Thank you for tuning in. I'm sending everybody love, and I hope to catch you guys next time.